Hello, welcome to the Back Post with Sam Gardner, Scott Waple and myself, Rob Lilly. Thank you so much for joining us. On this week's show, we'll be reflecting how our Step 5 clubs fared in the FA Cup extra preliminary round, last weekend's matches in the Thurlow Nunn Division 1 South, plus news and the fixtures ahead. Join us after this. All right, well, welcome back. It's another evening of
Fun.
Indeed. Sam, you're just back off of a holiday.
I am, yeah. Missed out last week's. Missed a good show. It looked like. Didn't get a tan in Cornwall, as we kind of mentioned off air. But
yeah,
no, week off, back to it. Ready to get going tonight.
Super.
Good stuff, Scott.
Yeah, no, looking forward to another good show. Also, we had a lot of action this week and some slightly curious stuff, which will, especially one match being abandoned, but
yeah,
we'll
that will come up. That will come up.
Good to be here.
Right, so we're going to jump into the news. A few bits and pieces to catch up on. First of all, last Friday, we had the news from Basildon United that George Christou had left his role, and shortly after, Basildon United released a statement as follows. Due to the circumstances beyond our control, we have found it necessary to restructure the club's finances in order to safeguard the future of Basildon United Football Club, both in the short and long term. As a result of this difficult but essential decision, we regret to announce that we are no longer in a position to support George Christou in his role as first team manager. Therefore, with immediate effect, George has decided to step down from his position. We'd like to place on record that this was a mutual decision made with full transparency and respect between both parties. We sincerely apologise that the club could not fulfil its original commitment to George, his management team and the players. We thank George for his hard work, professionalism and dedication during his time at the club, and we wish him all the very best for the future. Given the tight time frame and with an important FA Cup fixture against Hullbridge Sports fast approaching, the club has acted swiftly to appoint a new manager. That manager, as we know, is Michael Walther. He's got a wealth of experience.
He does.
As well.
Yeah.
Yes, he does. Yeah.
Yeah. The statement obviously goes on to thank supporters who attended the emergency supporters meeting. It's a shock so early on in the season.
Yeah.
But I guess clubs have to make these decisions because the finances dictate the viability of the clubs.
I think it is a tough decision for them to make, especially so early on in the season, as you say. Obviously, George has come in, and I don't think it's the way either of them would have wanted it to work out. But as it says, it's necessary for the future of the club, so we have to kind of respect that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, they've got some criticism on social media following this decision. There's no criticism from me coming. I think the future of the club longer term is paramount, and clearly that's the focus at this time.
Yeah.
Just like to wish Michael well. He's got
definitely.
He's got an intriguing job there for the next several months, I think. Whether it affects Basildon's going forward, because we were saying a couple of weeks ago about how strong that they would be this season. It'd be interesting to see what the list of contacts that Michael has and the players he brings in, and it'd be interesting to see whether Basildon are still among the probably 8 to 10 clubs that are going to be fiercely competing for the promotion and playoff spots.
Yeah, completely agree. So again, obviously, congratulations to Michael on his appointment, and we obviously hope it all goes well. Sam, you got some news from Hackney Wick?
Yeah, something a little bit more sort of light-hearted, shall we say? I would like to mention the events of last Wednesday. Hackney Wick obviously travelling to Sporting Bengal for their first away game Sporting Bengal's first home game since obviously both returning to the division. I think it was around 20 minutes in, Hackney Wick put up a tweet which we're going to show on the screen. Match abandoned due to broken goalpost, accompanied with a face palm emoji.
A face palm,
so we all know what Hackney Wick think of that. I think, gents, if there's ever a tweet to sum up Step 5 football, I think it's probably this. It's all I will say is it's a very strange reason to abandon the game, especially as the game has started. Do we know how it got broken? Was it?
I don't think anything's been announced yet.
Someone hit a thunderbolt against the.
It's a strange one, but it's something you'd only get a non-league football.
That's why we love it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So other news that broke on Friday was that Harwich and Parkston celebrated their 150th anniversary, but with a very special guest, namely the FA Cup trophy, which was proudly on show at their Royal Oak ground. Club chairman Tony Armstrong stated that the actual FA Cup was sitting proudly on a pedestal in our social club where supporters were able to have their pictures taken with the trophy. I'd like to thank all those involved in organising the day and for the Football Association who recognised the club's efforts and rewarded us with their presence as part of our 150th anniversary year.
First off, I just want to say huge congratulations to Harwich and Parkston on their anniversary year. We know that it's a really difficult thing keeping a club going for decades, but for a club to be in existence for more than 100 years, as Harwich are one of them. There's a few out there, but Harwich are one of them. And what a fantastic way to mark that fabulous anniversary as well. And you know, it makes you think that it was written, the fact they got promotion to Step 5 right into their anniversary year. It's, you know, sometimes you think that stories are written
in the stars.
Yeah, and it's fabulous. And it's well this season as well.
And it's a lovely touch from the FA as well.
It is.
You know, actually taking the trophy down there.
It is.
Congratulations to Harwich and Parkston. And finally, this evening, actually, before we started this recording, AS London announced that they let go of Damien Briggs as manager. So obviously, so soon into the season,
I think different circumstances to Basel United with George Christie, but no less sort of impactful. Yeah, at the time. Obviously, so soon as the season. Don't think they've said about replacement yet. I think they said they'd announce that in good time.
No.
But I think, as you kind of said, Scott, about Basildon United in the Essex Senior League, I think AS London was sort of among those teams expected to be up there pushing for playoffs and eventual promotion this year. So it'll be interesting to see how that impacts them.
Indeed, it's the one word I would use, and which is unfortunate. It's always unfortunate to hear of managerial changes early doors in the season, and that's nothing against AS London. That's just, I say that generally, but again, as you say, Sam, similar to Basildon in the ESL, it will be intriguing to see what impact when the new manager is named, to see how that affects them. And I think you're right. I think AS will probably want to be in that sort of top 8 at least, playoff chase, but we'll see how we go. It is early on still.
But can you tell so early on how a manager is going to do? I mean, their results obviously haven't been good, but it's still very hard.
It's very early.
Still very early, yeah.
It is.
Yeah. But
that's football, though.
Yeah.
If I felt it wasn't going to work out, then
it is.
Yeah.
Right, well, before we crack on with a run through of the midweek results, just a quick note from the supporter of this week's show, Fifine. This episode of The Back Post is proudly supported by Fifine, a brand trusted by content creators, podcasters, and streamers around the world. Here on The Back Post,
we use the Fi-Fi K688 dynamic microphones, and let me tell you, these mics are seriously impressive straight out of the box. No complicated setup, no need for extra processing, just plug in, hit record, and you're getting broadcast quality audio every time. Whether you're in a treated studio or recording in a more basic setup, the K688 delivers clear, warm vocals with minimal background noise, which is exactly what we need when we've got a packed show and a round table of guests. If you've not heard of Fi-Fi before, they're a fast-growing global audio brand who've built a reputation for making high-quality, budget-friendly gear that rivals equipment 3 times the price. From microphones to audio solutions, for home studios, they're helping creators around the world level up their sound. So if you're launching a podcast, streaming, or just want to sound crystal clear in your meeting, check out the K688 from Fi-Fi. Trust us, your voice will thank you. And a huge thanks to Fi-Fi for supporting non-league football through the Back Post.
Okay, and welcome back to the Back Post. We're going to take a look now at some of the midweek results from the Essex Senior League, starting with the results from Tuesday, the 29th of July. So Athletic Newham picks up a decent home point against Great Waker and Rovers. 1-1 it finished there.
Late goal.
Yeah, late equaliser, yep. Basildon United picks up a decent 3-0 win over Benfleet. Fremford were beaten at home by Ilford, 3-1 in that one. Harwich and Parkson picks up their first league win of the season, 2-1 at home to Halstead Town. Little Oakley, excellent away performance and 4-1 win over Holbridge Sports at Lower Road.
Yeah, they're looking good at the moment, Oakley.
They are looking very good. Yeah,
they are looking good.
Yeah.
And finally, Woodford Town beating West Essex 3-1 at Wadham Lodge. And for the following day, Buckhurst Hill and Sole Tower Hamlets played out a very entertaining 2-2 draw, 2 very late goals.
Yeah. 2 very, very late goals. Yeah.
10 minutes of added on time?
Yeah, but the goals...
Sole Tower Hamlets in the 90 plus 9th minute and Buckhurst Hill in the 90 plus 10th.
Yeah, it was literally 1 minute apart. Yeah.
Ridiculous late drama.
Crazy game.
Saffron Walden Town, obviously, my team picking up an excellent 4-2 win away to Romford, putting us top of the league. And
you had to get that in, didn't you?
Of course I had to get that in. Much to Scott's dismay. And
chagrin. More dismay. Go on.
And a decent home win for White Ensign as well.
Very much
3-1
so.
against Barking, obviously one of the favourites to go up this year. And obviously included in that as well was the abandoned game at Myland Stadium between Sporting Bengal and Hackney Wick. And some of the results from the Thurlow Nunn Division 1 South, Lymore Gardens picking up a decent 4-2 win at home to Brimsdown. They've started quite well.
They have.
In that league.
Yep.
Good on them.
Yep.
That was the Monday night. And then on the Tuesday, it was a 6-goal thriller at Coggeshall Town, drawing with Newbury Forest.
Good point, that, for Forest.
It is, yeah, especially away. And Basildon Town going to Clapton Community and picking up a very decent 2-1 victory.
Yeah.
And the main bulk of the Thurlow Nunn Division 1 South fixtures on Wednesday, the 30th of July. Burnham Ramblers 2, Barkingside 4, so another 6-goal thriller. Very decent win for Barkingside there. Cannonswood slipping up a bit, 4-0 at home to Dunmow Town. Brilliant. 3 points away from home.
Surprise result of the night, anyway.
Yep.
FC Baresi 1, Rayleigh 6. 6 first half goals there for Rayleigh Town.
Just want to say, there's 3 great away wins there. Really?
Yeah.
Really, right. Absolutely.
3 of them.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
I mean, fair play to all 3 sides there.
And our friend Rob Hodgson been delighted with that one.
Yes.
Hutton 3, AS London 2. Hutton started pretty well.
Yeah, they're top earlier.
Top of the league, yep.
Yeah. 3-3.
Weekend fixtures, yeah.
Another game with a lot of goals as well. 5 goals in that one. May and Baker 1, Stansted 1. I think it was a second half equaliser from Stansted to rescue a point there. Yeah. And Northwest London, or NW London, picking up a 4-1 home win against Enfield Borough.
That's a good win for them.
Another good win, yeah.
Yeah. Right, well, that leads us nicely into the weekend's FA Cup extra preliminary round involving our Step 5 clubs. So we'll go through them alphabetically. Athletic Newham 1, Sevenoaks Town 3. Baldock Town 1, Little Oakley 1. I think Oakley was 6 minutes away, weren't they?
They were, Rob.
Yeah.
Yes. Substitute Darren Mills put Oakley ahead just after the hour, and Jamie Pars Fakakli.
Fazakali.
Yes, that's
That one.
Yeah.
dialect book for me, I think. But no,
That's a stadium announcer's worst nightmare, those names.
yeah, imagine. But that's a very good, very creditable result for Oakley, in fairness. And that replay will be midweek. So, yeah.
Yeah, which I think they'll probably stand a good chance with being at home.
Long trip for Baldock.
It's a long trip. Yeah, it's a long trip on a weeknight. So yeah,
it is.
Yeah. Barking 1, Grays Athletic 2. Bearsted 1, Hackney Wick 2.
Pleased for Wick.
Yes.
Great result, yeah.
Yeah.
Really good.
It is. Especially as they had to come from behind in this one. Sam Fisher put Bearsted ahead before the half hour.
Yep.
And then second half comeback from Wick. Leo Lapate got a goal back on 56. And then a matter of minutes later, Adam Chiniti got the eventual winner for Wick, which I'm sure was broadly welcomed by the travelling contingent of Hackney supporters. But good on you guys. Well done.
Yeah, good result. Colney Heath 0, Woodford Town 4. I mean, it's obviously a very enjoyable afternoon for Woodford Town.
Yeah, I think it bodes well. I really do think it bodes well. I mean, they got that away win on the opening day of the league season, and then they've got this result as well. Marko Protic put Woodford ahead on around 13 minutes. Then we've got another double for Ollie Sotiimbo, either side of half time. And then
Great signing, by the way.
Yeah.
Sotiimbo.
Yeah.
Proven striker for this level.
And we've actually got Ollie's one of Ollie's goals here for us, which was played through.
It's classic Ollie that he spent a little bit of time at Walden, and that was the finish we were used to seeing from him.
Yeah, little first time finish as well. So yeah,
prolific.
Yeah,
calm, calm finisher.
Exactly. Yeah,
saw that in the goals he got at Hackney Wick on the opening day of the league season, and then a late fourth goal from new recruit Gabriel Impanga. Moments from time secured a very, very good day at the office for Woodford. So congrats to them.
And Woodford travelled to the winner of Harlow or Saffron Walden in the next round as well.
Well, would you want to face them, Sam, as Walden? That would be...
oh, yeah.
That would be a heck of a tie, to be honest.
It would.
So next on the list, Dunstable Town 1, Great Wakery Rovers 3. Again, another good win for one of our step 5 teams. Max Gnandy opened the scoring 11th minute. Town equalised on the half hour.
Montel Brown with that goal. Yeah.
Hosts had substitute Alan Mukofa sent off just before half time, I believe.
Yes.
The second half of 10. Yeah,
indeed.
And then Alex Teniola fired home. I think was that his second of the season.
Important goal at that stage of the game.
Yes.
And then late on, the returning Harry Talbot back on the score sheet, and that's a good win. Good crowd as well. Just over 250 at Dunstable Town there, but very good result for GWR, especially after they probably would have been slightly disappointed with that draw at Newham in the league in midweek as well.
Great way to bounce back.
It is, very much so.
Yeah. And Marcus Bowers mentioned that we knew it was going to be a tough game. We did some research on them, and that really helped us paint a picture of what we were expecting. This enabled us to change some personnel and tweak some player positions. We started off really well, and to be honest, barring a short period after they scored, I thought we were dominant throughout. Our keeper wasn't tested, and we had a fair few opportunities to put the game to bed earlier. But once we got the second goal, we completely controlled the tempo, and our game management was excellent. Obviously, would certainly appear so.
Yeah, and that's what it is. It's a classic cliche, but goals win matches, and they're especially prevalent in away cup ties.
So Erith Town 0, Sporting Bengal 0, Haringey Borough 3, Halstead Town 1. Yeah, I mean that one for me, that was always going to be a tough tie for Halstead.
It was a tough tie. Just a word about Bengal as well. I mean, to go to any away cup tie this early in the season, very decent result for them, and they take Erith back to Mile End in midweek as well.
Let's hope the goalpost is fixed as well.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to mention that.
Yeah, well.
Addressing the elephant in the room.
Only time will tell. Only time will tell.
Yes.
Aberdeen Parkston 2, AFC Dunstable 4. I mean, obviously, this was their first appearance in the FA Cup for 6 years. Ended up being a 6-goal thriller. But yeah, sadly, not.
No, not to be on the day, but I'm sure fantastic atmosphere because there was 390 in the ground, so that's brilliant for Harwich. But it will be a good day for two players, Ted Johnson and Greg Roger, getting the goals for Harwich. So it will be probably a result that will drive them on for the next several weeks, I think. But yeah, all in all, a good atmosphere at the ground. It's very famous old ground, Royal Oak.
And with the FA Cup in attendance, was it the day before as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
So memorable occasion, even if the result wasn't quite to be.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
Next up, an all ESL affair, Holbridge Sports 3, Basildon United 1. It was a tough opener for Michael Walther, going straight into an FA Cup tie.
Yeah.
I remember saying this to a couple of colleagues just before that game, and I thought, obviously, what with the news we just mentioned about Basildon United, it was anyone's to win that one. If you'd have actually said, right, who's going to win that cup tie, you'd have been very hard pressed to find anyone that gives you an absolute definite answer. So the fact that Holbridge prevailed, good on them. And a hat-trick hero as well, Tobias Brainy with 3 goals in the second half, one of them from 12 yards. Was too much for Basildon, who did take the lead in that one. Yep. Interestingly,
Rory Stevens.
Yes, indeed, Stevens getting the goal there. And the other thing to note on that game as well, very healthy crowd for Holbridge as well, which they'll be pleased about. 184, which is good to see.
I think you're right there, Scott, on that. It was, if you'd asked anyone before the game, I think it would have been almost impossible to call, because Holbridge had obviously had a very tricky start to the league season.
Yes.
Basildon United were just coming to terms with obviously the news that broke on Friday.
Yep.
But great result for Holbridge and through to the next round.
Yes, and something to build on for them.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Kennington 0, Seoul Tower Hamlets 4.
Superb.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Just superb. I mean,
they do look good at the moment.
They do. And, they showed it on the opening night when they won very well at Ensign. But they showed again, I mean, Terry Spillane and John Field, all credit to the management there. I mean, they took the lead early on in this one, Rian Patel, after 12 minutes. And then another double from arguably one of their talisman. I would say Steve Carvell might well be the other one. But there's probably a few in that team, and that's a good thing.
Yes.
But Sherman Armaladze with 2 goals on 49 and 65. And then a late fourth from Kieran James seals a superb win at Kennington, as Ted said. Yeah. And they're through to the next round. Their first game in this new incarnation of Tower Hamlets, Seoul Tower Hamlets, first game in the FA Cup. And absolutely brilliant. Well done.
Leighton Town 1, Benfleet 1. Obviously, Benfleet live to fight another day.
Good draw for Benfleet.
Yes.
Especially going to Leighton Town, who are, I'd say, traditionally a Step 5 club that are sort of always up there in their division, always pushing for Step 4. So for a team like Benfleet to go and force a replay at Woodside Park, I think they'd be more than happy with that.
Yes, indeed. I mean, they took the lead in this one. Matthew Stevens-Brown on 16. But conceded a equaliser 2 minutes into the second half. Jack Sayel with that one. But the other thing I'm going to want to note about this, and this is credit to Leighton as well, 505 watching that one, which is brilliant.
Incredible crowd.
And, you know, for anyone to get 400, more than 400 at step 5 or in the FA Cup at this stage, is you have to doff your hat. And yeah, and again, Benfleet taking them back to Woodside in midweek.
Whittam Town 1, Frenford 1 again.
Another very good,
a really good result. Really good result for Frenford.
Yes, very much so.
At the Simarco Stadium.
They took the lead as well, didn't they?
They did. George O'Connor with their goal. And another former Essex Senior League player, Sonny Dutton, getting the leveller for Whittam in that one.
Yeah.
And very creditable result. And Frenford will probably back themselves to at least make it a really tough game back at the Drive in midweek. But
be interesting to see how Whittam cope with the surface as well. Not many 3G surfaces in the Isthmian North.
Yeah, no, it'll be interesting how, as you say, they deal with the conditions. So absolutely.
And White Ensign 0, Sawbridgeworth Town 2. Basically Ensign held out until 11 minutes from time, I believe, in this game.
They did. Grant and David with the goals for Sawbridgeworth, and fair play to them. That's a really good win for them.
Nice to see a former ESL side doing quite well away from home there.
Yes, no, it's good to see. I mean, we've got a few other results to mention actually as well. Starting off with an excellent win for Ilford.
Brilliant.
Yes.
Leverstock Green. David Lizzolo with the decisive goal there. I think Leverstock at a higher level as well. So it's a fantastic result for them. And I mean, they've started well. And, we said a couple of weeks ago, there's always going to be surprises. And Ilford may be early runners to be one of those surprising sides, perhaps. But no, congrats on a very fine win, and they'll be through to the next round. The next result, perhaps not a surprise. Rob, Buckhurst have had the unenviable task of going to Malden and Tiptree.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It was always going to be a tough ask.
Yes, it was. Very good crowd, though, over 400.
400, yep.
And when you've got an ex-Celtic striker getting two of the goals as well, which he did, Gary Hooper, former professional for a very long time, getting 2 of those 5 goals, you know you're up against it. So now all credit to Malden, and they go through to the next round. Right, moving on to the next match, and it was the match at Cater's Lane. Sam, Saffron Walden 0, Harlow 0. Take us through it.
Interesting result. Interesting match. First of all, a lot of Harlow fans coming to Saffron Walden. They always take good numbers wherever they go.
They do.
Started off with the away team very much on top. Had a couple of good chances. We were kind of restricted to shots sort of from outside the box or on the counter attack. We had a couple in the second half, a couple of one-on-ones that I think our strikers would feel they probably could have done a little bit better. One chance right at the end as well, I have to mention. Bobby Williams on his debut, going through and being denied by a fantastic save, which would have sent us through straight away. But as it happens, replay tomorrow night at Harlow. That should be
Tuesday.
Another cracking game.
Yeah.
Tuesday, I should say.
Tuesday night, yeah.
Tuesday night.
But no, it's going to be. It might well have a few Walden fans going to that one.
Yeah, not a long way to travel.
No,
one of our shorter away days this year. So being tucked up in northwest Essex.
That's certainly one way of describing it as far as the trip away from home.
It wasn't for a 0-0. It was an entertaining game, I felt.
That's good to hear. That's good to hear, and best of luck in the replay.
Gonna need it
as well. Well, you never know. You've got another 90 minutes, as the cliche goes. See how we go. Carrying on, the next game at the Hawthorns, which saw the champions of last season's ESL, Stanway Rovers, take on Romford. Very narrow game, this one. Jamie Bennett getting the goal for Stanway late on was enough to get a good win over Romford. But from what I heard post-match, some of the general reaction from Romford was they were pleased with the level of performance, which is good to hear.
I think Romford, generally last season, Romford, I think were unbeaten against Stanway as well. I think they got a win. I think they won at the Hawthorns and got a draw at Maysbrook. So I feel like I think they fancied their chances a little bit going into it, and obviously didn't quite work out the way that they'd have expected. But I think the way they played, I think I got the same general consensus that they were fairly pleased with how they played. And good luck to another former ESL team, Stanway Rovers.
Absolutely. Best of luck next round.
In the preliminary round.
Yes, indeed. The last game to mention, not a great day at the office for West Essex, it has to be said, although they did have a very tough assignment, it has to be also mentioned. Tring Athletic defeating West at home 5-0.
Tough place to go.
It is a very tough place to go. ESL sides have not got the best record at Tring. But to be fair, they got 2 of those goals late on in the last few minutes. But no, congrats to Stanway and to Tring. And good luck to all of the winners that we've listed there in the next round, and also to those that are going to contest the replays, because there's bound to be a couple of surprise results in the replays as well. This coming week.
Some good replay size and the interesting size.
Yeah. Right, so we will move on to the Thurlow Nunn Division 1 South results. Again, in alphabetical order. Basildon Town 1, FC Baresi 1.
Yes, Kishorn James with the goal for Baresi just after the hour. But yeah, that's a good point for Baresi, because they've had a couple of dicey results. Let's say we mentioned that hefty midweek loss at home to Rayleigh a few moments ago, but to come back and to get a point at Basildon Town, that's very decent. Well done to them.
And Burnham Ramblers 2, Stansted 1. I believe this is one that you actually went to.
I was at this one. I did think about doing an FA Cup game, but we don't often get a chance to sort of delve into Step 6. So this sounded a very appealing game. Obviously, both teams former Essex Senior League sides as well. Just adds to the part nostalgia, but also they're 2 decent sides as well right now. So that sort of added to it. Very tight game throughout, it has to be said. But Burnham took the lead through a close range finish from Tom Franks after 7 minutes. But they didn't really get to enjoy that lead for very long, because Dan Jones got goal back for Stansted on 18 minutes. And then from that, sort of for large parts from then on, a lot of it was sort of contested in midfield, a bit like the Walden 0-0 game that Sam just referenced. Not dull at all. There was a lot of good play, fair few chances for both sides as well. Stansted started the second half with sort of renewed impetus, but just couldn't get the ball over the line. And then sort of the last 20 minutes or so, Burnham sort of pushed forward to good effect, created quite a few chances. And just when you thought that they wouldn't be able to convert one of those chances, Asa Cansdale got the all-important winning goal 2 minutes from time, getting a favourable sort of... Aidan Brown's initial shot was denied by the keeper, I think it was, and Cansdale was well placed to fire in sort of the 6-yard box. So in the end, Burnham just about doing enough to win. Sort of edged the second half, really. But it was good.
Burnham going well at the moment under Paul Hayes as well.
They are. It's Paul's sort of second season in charge, I think now. So yes, important the way they started, but just to add one little added point, which is it was a good sort of advert for Step 6. And if this is the level that most of the clubs are going to put forward this year, I think, as we said in the preview show a couple of weeks ago, it's certainly going to be 10 or 12 sides that are going to be pretty darn close together.
It is a very, very competitive league.
Yes, absolutely.
Very competitive division this season.
Yes.
So yeah. Cannonswood 4, Northwest London 0. So I mean, obviously they've just recouped the 4 goals that they've that they conceded against Dunmow, but
made up the goal difference
like that.
if only it did work like that, yeah. But 2 goals apiece.
Yes, Robert Adams and Jake Heath with those braces for Cannonswood, and a good return to form, and probably Sam a win that they needed.
Yeah, especially after somewhat surprising 4-0 at home to Dunmow last time. I feel like, as we've kind of mentioned in previous shows about Cannonswood, I feel like they'd be up there this year. There was a little bit of a bump in the road at home to Dunmow, but I feel like they're very much, or they hopefully feel that they're sort of back on track now. That's a good result for them.
It is.
And at the Old Spotted Dog, Clapton Community, 5-0 against Dunmow Town. Obviously, Dunmow Town are going to be deeply unhappy about that, especially following from their Cannonswood result.
I feel like they're a bit more of a situation of being brought back down to earth. A bit more of a
yeah. I mean, Ponsford's not going to be happy.
No, but I think there's a slight sort of caveat here, which is Clapton's big home support.
Yeah,
not
402 at the game.
Well, there you go. Not every team are going to adjust to playing in front of big crowd like that, and a loud crowd as well. They get behind their team very well. Fred Taylor with 4 goals in that one as well. So you know,
3 of them in the final few minutes as well, wasn't it?
It was. I think a 4-minute hat trick. I think.
Indeed. There you go. So kudos to him. Well done. And then Andre Adoku with the other goal. And I think Messer Okran will be very happy with that result.
And then, as it stands, the current leaders, Hutton, with a close fought 1-0 win against Coggleshall.
They're going to need these. The thing is, we said this, I think, last week, didn't we, Rob, that you've got to find different ways to win matches.
Yeah.
And, you know, they got a few goals in previous games. They sort of, Coggleshall are not an easy opposition on a pitch like New Lodge. That they ain't going to find it easy to break them down. But again, Elliot Howson with the all important goal there for the Reds, and as you say, Rob, early pace setters at the top of the standings, and good win for them, and they'll want to keep that run going for as long as they can. Yeah,
I believe the keeper was sent off in that one as well. Right at the end of the game, so it really wouldn't have had much of an impact. But Newbury Forest 2, FC Romania 1. This is FC Romania is still a team I'm gonna try and get to go and see again. It's been a long time since I've said this past 2 weeks, I believe. They're still finding it tough.
Yes, I mean, we should mention that they've had a bit of a delayed start, Romania, because of other circumstances. But to be fair, they gave a good account of themselves in the main. Forest's goals come from Ebon and Bona, double from him, and then David Barbak Adze. I think I got that one.
Barbakadze.
Barbakadze, yeah.
With a decent goal there for Romania, but important win for Forest, because if they're going to find it a tough campaign, they've got to get points at Oakside. So
great result for Forest, actually.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Especially considering how they finished last season, they'd be pleased to get such an important win so early.
Yes, indeed.
Rayleigh Town 2, Brimsdown 1. Another good result for Rob Hodgson's side.
Indeed. I think they found this one a little bit trickier. than perhaps
Yep.
one or two of the other ones they've had so far this season. But Tommy Sykes and Jamie Philbrick, the goal scorers there at Thames Road. Theo Higson Farrell with the goal in response from Brimsdown, but that's a good positive for them to make it a tricky game for Rayleigh, because as we said when we spoke to Rob, although it's a bit of a transitional season for them, they'll certainly be aiming high, won't they?
Yeah.
Three defeats out of 3 for Brimsdown, though, is a bit of a cause for concern.
It is, but the caveat is that they've got plenty of games to arrest that sort of small sort of losing run.
Yeah. And then Southend Manor 2, Hoddesdon Town 1.
It's a good result for Manor, this.
Yeah. Although, the goals did come quite late on in the game.
They did. Connor Bolton put Hoddesdon ahead. They would have been pleased to get the opening goal there, but substitutes Taylor Clark and a name that a lot of Essex Senior clubs will remember, I'm sure, Sipo Mitianda with the crucial goals there for Manor. And I think, to be quite honest, Billy Cove, manager, will be very happy with 3 points. And just at this stage of the season, get the points on the board. And turned out to be a good day at the office for Manor. So well done.
Yeah. Well, joining us on the show this week are 2 key figures leading the rebuild at Toby FC. After a challenging season that ended in relegation from the Essex Olympian Premier Division, the club is now focused on bouncing back with fresh faces and a clear direction. We're pleased to welcome Alfie Sayers, the head of football, overseeing the bigger picture and long-term vision, and Matt Cardy, the first team manager, who's putting in the work and getting the results on the pitch. Welcome, guys. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Welcome.
I guess first things first. We'll start with. I think we'll actually start with you, Alfie. Obviously, Matt, please jump in at any time. But we've got to start from the beginning. So, from last season, what discussions have you actually had with Matt during the close season about this rebuild project?
My wife is in earshot, so I have to be careful what I say. But I actually talk to Matt than I do my own wife at the moment. That's how much we're in contact. Because I think everybody at the club would all agree that that's what's needed. But we talk a lot, and what we're trying not to do is to boil the ocean, to use a cheesy catchphrase, because there's a lot for us to do. The term rebuild is one I would actually try to steer clear of, actually, because I have to give some credit to the other sections across the club that are doing pretty well. It's the men's section really where we need to fine tune a little bit and to look at how we do things. So I see it as more of an opportunity to reset and rewind the clock a few years, as opposed to looking at a load of stuff that's gone wrong. So Matt and I are really clear on what we need to do. We're really clear on how we're going to do it. And I think it's just turning that into actionable chunks, but doing that in a way that doesn't spread us too thin and doing things too quickly is really, really where I think the key is for us. I don't know, Matt, if you would agree with that.
No, yeah, 100%. I think it's really important to be in the present. I think, from my experience, I've always been a long-term thinker and planner, and always been really outcome driven. I think in my downtime, being away from football, one of the sort of lessons I learned, especially from my last role, was actually dealing with the moment that's in front of you. And I think I've tried to be that so far since I've joined the club, is just dealing with what's in hand and the challenge that's immediate, and worrying about later. And I think the phrase "boiling the ocean" is a good one, because if you try and do too many things at once, something's going to fall down. So, I definitely sort of echo that in terms of trying to be present in my mindset of the challenges and what we're doing.
Guys, great to have you both with us. Alfie, from a sort of footballing side of things, obviously the men's team last season ended with obviously relegation from Essex Olympian Premier. What were the kind of key lessons learned from a footballing side of things from last season's relegation?
Yeah, it's a really good question. So I came in March, and the writing was already on the wall at that point. I think if we're all honest with ourselves, we knew what was going to happen. So my view on it is to try not to dwell too much on the past, but to look at, what could I come in pretty quickly and change. Sorry, there's just some noise in the background. I've just bought a puppy. If you can hear some bells ringing, my puppy is ringing the bells to go in the garden. And I'd cleared the house completely to obviously make no noise whilst I'm on the podcast, but my missus and dog don't seem to have got the message. So look, I think we knew what was coming, and it's not about placing blame. And the first thing I did is not really look at any individual. Ross, the previous first team manager, he had his own challenges. We had a fantastic relationship. So it wasn't a scenario where someone had fallen out or something really bad had happened. It was a series of things that led to us being in a position that we didn't want to be in. And Toby has made huge progress since 2022. We've gone from one team, two teams, up to now 8 teams in a very short space of time with our own facility, which I'm sure we'll come on to talk about as well. And I think in amongst all those things happening, a core group of players that we'd had together for a number of years at different clubs actually prior to Toby, but then at Toby for a few years together, all getting older, having kids, moving on and disappearing, plus all the other stuff going on. It was just a cauldron of stuff. There wasn't anything that rang alarm bells for me or we needed to do drastically. It was really just about making sure we had the right people. And I think the real answer to that question is and one of the things I'm trying to focus on is to create a sustainable model. And what I mean is, and I hope this doesn't happen anytime soon, certainly, but if Matt were to take his core of players that he's brought in 6 months into the season and move elsewhere, I'm back to square one. And I don't have a huge youth section to leverage. I'm not Hutton with 114 teams. I'm not Corinthians. I'm not Rayleigh Town. We're just not those clubs at this moment in time. We have a very clear plan to get there. So one of the things I'm looking at is building a youth section and working with my peer James Kearns to do that, who's already doing a fantastic job. Working with schools and colleges to really try to build a pipeline of players and be creative there, and also to leverage clubs higher up the footballing pyramid to have some key partnerships for dual signs and strategic loan. So Matt shared with me a really interesting image of a pyramid and how we kind of build that pathway upwards, and at the bottom we in lieu of a youth section, how do we build out this bottom layer so that I have a pipeline of players ready to go either at the start of the season or during the season that I can bring in from a reserve team or an EJA team aspirationally. So, yeah, kind of a long-winded answer to your question, Sam, but I think that not necessarily a learning but from the relegation, but what it did is make it really clear that I need to address that sustainability question for the club moving forward, and that's something we're working really hard on.
Good to see you both. Sort of touching on what you've already mentioned there, Alfie. So how are you reshaping the club's culture and identity moving forward?
I'm not, and I don't want to, because the club culture and what our identity and what we're all about is something that we're very proud of and that I want to keep. I think what's happened is that maybe faded away and we've strayed away from those principles of who we are and that identity. So I don't want to change it. I just want to make it more prevalent and to have the right people to help us drive who we think we are. We're a down-to-earth, modest, working person's club. The history of the club, 1932, we were a brewery-owned football team from Charrington's brewery all the way back in Mile End. So to really sort of tapping into that, the roots of the club and just bringing that back to the fore, which is difficult because at the moment there aren't thousands of players knocking on our door to come and play for Toby, and there wouldn't be, right, because we've been relegated. So having Matt and other people coming into the club that have a good reputation that we can use to reinforce what we're all about is helpful. What we are doing, however, is trying to be a bit more innovative in our approach. All of those kind of, I'm not going to use the term old school, but those traditional ways of operating that we're very proud of has got us so far, but clearly there's a little bit more we need to do to make the jump to get to step 6, which is, and of course every person in my position, Matt's position, going to tell you they want to go to step 6. We get it. But I think the difference with us is that we want to do that sustainably, as I've said, and also we say we're going to be patient, but we have a clear plan, and we don't want to rush. We want to have the right foundations in place before we do that. So the culture's good. What I'd love to see is 44 plus players across our firsts and our under 23s team, reserves team that we're relabeling to an under 23s, is to people enjoying it, people understanding what we want from them and what we're all about, and just having fun. I mean, that's what football's all about at the end of the day. You know, we can tell you all the serious stuff, but the boys just want to come in and play. And it's just having that. Like it's made me so happy just to see the core of group players that Matt's already brought in just enjoying it. Because we've had a season, and let's be fair, last season was tough, but the season before was tough as well. You know, I ran the side for 9 games. In fact, we only steered clear of relegation that season because I managed against Matt, and we got some points against Springfield. I had to bring that up on the show, Matt. Sorry.
A lot of people got a lot of points against our Springfield.
Yeah. So yeah.
All ancient history now.
Yeah, we won't bring it up again, Matt. Sorry.
I'm in the present. Do you know what I mean?
So I don't want to change the culture. I just want to reinforce it, and I want to see it back. Is my very short, snappy answer to you.
I do think. Sorry, Scott. Just on that, I do think it's very admirable that obviously Toby, as you mentioned, history goes all the way back to the 1930s. I do think it is admirable that you're kind of keeping that culture that was obviously first. What was first intended to be at Toby all those years ago? Because obviously it's so. I would say it's quite easy to sort of almost forgo that, but I think you're doing a great job in sort of keeping that culture alive.
Can I just say that? So I've known Toby Football Club for years, playing against them, managing against them, and my perception of the football club was very different before and after talking to Alfie and the club chairman Ben Morgan. What I would say is you can really get a feel for that history and culture when you walk into the facility that we've got in the clubhouse. And that was one of the things that I liked, was the feel for the club, and you really do get a feel for that working class, hard working football club. And that really resonated with me when I went to. I'd been in the clubhouse before after games, but when it's busy, you don't get the feel. But it was just me, Alfie, and Ben, and I could really feel that. And for such a new facility and new room, I was quite impressed by that. That I got that feeling. I can't really describe what that feeling is, but you get a feeling for the football club, and that history is played into it.
Indeed. Well, I should say that the club's nickname is the Brewers, and let's not forget that. You sort of touched on this, Alfie, a moment ago, but great to hear about the pathway that you want to sort of develop. So, sort of building on that, what kind of structure or philosophy are you trying to implement behind the scenes?
Question. So if I talk at the top level of the club and how we're structured, and then kind of hone in on my piece, which is the men's section. So again, we're still a reasonably small club, so there's not hundreds of us in a committee. It's a fairly small committee of people meeting and talking about these kind of things. So you have myself, the chairman, Ben, obviously, myself, who runs the men's section, Donna, who runs the women's section, and James, who runs the youth section. So our roles are all intertwined. We share the same philosophy, the way we want to play, and the identity. Coming back to the culture question. So what focusing on my piece is, when Matt and I first sat down and had the chat about him coming in, is like, I'm really big on pragmatic football. But we have to use the term philosophy, we have to use the term process, and all of these phrases that we hear across the game at all levels. But we have to be pragmatic, and it's almost having a structure in place and an identity and a way we want to play, but then also being able to be flexible within that. So I haven't sat down with Matt and gone, I want to play this formation and this is exactly what we're all about. You know, he'll use the term in-your-face football. That's Matt's style. It always has been wherever he's been. So I think it's front foot football. It's in-your-face football, and beyond that, it's a consistent structure. And Matt will talk about this, I guess, in his piece. But really just being pragmatic and playing good football. Beyond that, it's like kind of on a case-by-case basis. Like, I'd love to sit here and say to you that I've got an amazing, innovative philosophy, but I don't, because I respect and understand the level that we're at. And it depends what players Matt has, and it depends what players our under 23 team has. And so I think you have to keep it consistent in that, but also respect the fact that you're not going to be able to do that. And anyone that sits here and tells me otherwise, good luck to them. But I just don't think that exists at this level of football. When we get to step 6, and it is when, right, that it is different. I think you have to approach the game a little bit differently. But it's Division 1 football. It's still a good standard of football, but it's not the Premier League. And I still have a challenge. We had this challenge last year and in prior years where us and only one other club at step 7 were charging players to play, right? It's a big challenge for us. Still the case now. It's a little bit different now. We're in Division 1. So I can't go out and go, and Matt and I design this beautiful picture, and then I go out and headhunt the player and go, I'm going to pay you 250 quid a week. I don't have that luxury. And until we have that luxury, it's more being consistent, having a clear identity that reflects our culture, but being pragmatic on the pitch and off the pitch as well. Matt, I don't know if I've done you and our discussions justice there. If you wanted to jump in, feel free.
No, I think the one of the reasons I came to the football club was because of the early discussions with Alfie. I was very, I'd say I was disengaged with football management at the time. I hadn't really followed the leagues too much after leaving my previous role. And the first time I felt like a football manager again was when I got a text from Alfie asking if I'd be interested in having a chat with him about coming in. And I think he's a good salesman, but I feel like that's doing him a disservice. To be fair, he spoke my language. He spoke like me. And then when I turned up for the meeting and he got a PowerPoint out, I was sold. I was like, yeah, I'm in. This is right up my street. So no, I think that real, you use the word pragmatic, but adaptability is really, really important. But I think there's a realism at the football club of where they were, and that was one of the things that impressed me. There was no BS. There was no trying to paper over the cracks to me. It was, we've had a bad year. And obviously I knew they had a bad year. But that authenticity that the football club has and Alfie and Ben have was one of the reasons I took them on.
Yeah. I guess I'll kind of leave this up to you guys as to who answers this. How closely do you guys both kind of work together on recruitment and sort of the types of players being brought in? Do you have a sort of particular idea of who you want to bring in as a kind of football club?
I'll go quick but be brief, Matt, because I'm conscious I've done most of the talking so far, and you're probably sick of.
I've got an answer. Don't worry, you go first. Though.
Pragmatism.
Yeah, exactly. I see my role as an enabler for Matt. So structurally, it's not like if this was a company, Matt works for me because I'm the head of the men's football section. It's a completely flat structure. So the only question I ever ask of the managers and the coaches is like, what do you need from me? Often the answer is players. And then we'll talk about that. And then, we're quite fortunate at the moment in our own networks, we've had enough of a playing squad that we could pull together and get a really good side together. As we settle and enter phase 2, phase 3 of what we're trying to do, we're going to then proactively go after targets. So yes, did we have a PowerPoint slide with some names on of some players that Matt wanted me to go and get? Yeah. Did we follow through with that at this stage? No, because we have, I think, Matt, probably close to what we want in terms of a playing squad for this season. But my role is an enabler. It's almost the opposite. I do what Matt needs me to do, not I tell Matt I need you to do this. It's a completely different relationship than I think you would think it would be from the outside looking in.
I think my bit on that in terms of recruitment is obviously I've got an idea of players that I know, like, and trust that have played with me before. I think I've brought over a good core of players that have played with. This will be the third club they've played for me. Which I think is a positive for me as a person and as a manager, that they've followed me 3 different clubs, and I sort of half knew that would be the situation. I know, obviously, managing the Olympian now for a long time, I think I've got a good knowledge of the levels and know players quite well, but so has Alfie. And I think one thing I've said to Alfie, it does confuse me at the lower levels of non-league football, because there is this perception and opinion that the only way of recruiting players is through the manager. But I think that's short-sighted. I think in elite level football, it's a team of people that recruit the players. There's not one person that recruits the players. And I think we took that model on where we work together on recruitment. It's not up to me to recruit the players; it's up to us to recruit the players. And I think that's quite a modern, up to date way of doing things, especially at the level of football that we're at. Yeah, I'd probably recruit 65, 70% of the players that are currently in the squad, but we've compiled a list of players that we know when the club has a bit more of a positive feel about it, that we'll all go after it a little bit more aggressively and try and recruit to take us to the next stage of our journey. Some of them players have played for me before, and I know that they're in good places where they are, and I've respected that, and I wish them all the best. But there'll be a time where I'll be dropping them a text and a phone call to see if I can persuade them to come and join me at what is a really, really exciting project.
This moment in time, we haven't had a run of a season or two to go out and look for players, scout players, watch players that we don't know. So at the moment, the only mechanism we have is our own networks, or sitting and trawling through the FA full-time website to see how many goals someone scored, right? And we know the players and we know where they are, right? We've been around the block enough. But I think that's something that comes in the future for the both of us, is doing a bit more of that proactive. This is what we need.
To be fair, Alfie, that's what us mere mortals have to do when looking up goal scorers for Olympian write-ups as well. We look up full time. So there you go, the oracle that is FT. Now, I've read a bit about this myself, but for our audience, what targets have you and the club set for the next 2 or 3 seasons in terms of progress? I think I did hear a little bit of a mention about step 6 there, but go for it.
Yeah, so step 6 is the ultimate objective. So I won't call it step 6. I'll say semi-professional football, right, is really where we want to get to. But we're also realistic, and we understand that it's not easy to do. What I don't necessarily want to do is, and clubs and people that are listening, please don't take offence to this, but I don't want to take the lazy route and go and do a ground share. Right? So we're going to try and do that in our own facility. Now that may technically not be possible right now, and there's some conversations going on that we're some things we need to do to get that to happen. But that's something that we're really clear about, is we want to do that on our own doorstep. So there's that to think about. But yeah, ultimately the objective is semi-professional football. Now, there are a significant number of things we need to do in order to get there, and we have to timestamp it, because if we don't have a timeline to work towards. But equally, what I'm not doing is putting too much pressure on it, so that if we fail in the short term, we go bust and that's it. We give up. We're not going to do that. So I'm happy if it takes us a little bit longer to get there, for as long as we're laying the right foundations and we're still having the right conversations and doing the right things. But in the next 3 to 5 years, aspirationally, that's where I'd like to take us. Now, the women's section is already there. So again, huge shout out and plaudits to them. They're already doing it. And across the club, we would like that to be a full semi-professional status in the short to medium term. So, yeah, look, we need to get out of Division 1. I watched a couple of the shows before we came on, and it's been mentioned, I think I counted 4 times, that Div 1 is a really hard division to get out of. Jube said that himself when you sat down with him. You mentioned it in your preview show. We know that. So am I saying to Matt it's promotion or we'll call it a day? No. Of course, we want to go straight back up. Any club that tells you that they don't want to go straight back up is doing the wrong thing in my eyes. However, we're not going to put too much pressure on it, because we'd rather have those foundations in place first. But there's then a much bigger step 7 to contend with, 16 teams. 16 good teams. Then there's the ground grading requirements and all of that, and that's my job to look at those things. For me, right now, success is the right people in the right roles with the right support. A playing squad that want to play for Toby and enjoy playing for Toby, and to see us winning some games. I just want to see people having a smile on their faces is step 1 of our, I won't call it a rebuild, but rebirth.
Good word.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Now, Matt, what were your first things that you wanted to address when you first took on the role? Again, based on what you'd seen, heard of from last season anyway.
Yeah, obviously I was quite lucky in the fact that obviously I was out of football and I was too young. I think I watched more rugby than I did football in my break. And I think I took the job end of March. I was announced mid-April, so I had time to sort of. I wasn't on the outside looking in. I was almost on the inside looking in, if that makes sense, and was able to just have a look at what the situation was. And I was very, very aware there was going to be a high player turnover because, to be quite frank, the players that were playing at the end of last season weren't good enough, and weren't at the standard that I would want and want to recruit. So I knew that I had to be very proactive in rebuilding a squad. I think off the top of my head, I can think of 2 players that represented the club last season that are in the first team squad at the moment. That's how high the turnover's been. But that's what it needed. It needed that reset. It needed different personnel. You mentioned culture earlier. There was a culture problem, I would say, at the football club, and then that wasn't any individual's fault. It just sort of went that way. And I've got a very, very different idea of what my culture is for my teams and the environment that I set. So it was making sure that I recruited to that. I got players in, and I think Alf just alluded to it, wanted to play for Toby, that weren't going to mistreat or disrespect the football club, and understand that if you want to play, fantastic, and if you don't, then go and mess somebody else about. And I've probably missed out on a couple of good players because I've been quite stern with that stance. It's about respecting the football club and making sure that standards are up, not taking a nick, basically. So recruitment's a challenge at any time, but when you start from scratch, it's even harder. But I did have a little bit of a head start because I knew I was coming in. It was a bit hard though, because if I was in a role, I wouldn't recruit in March for the next season. I wouldn't start that early because there's so much time left. It was hard to get my timings right. I didn't want to disturb other players. I want to be respectful to what they're doing at that time. But I have been pleased with how we've recruited. I think I didn't really have a timeline on it, but I'd say we've got a solid squad. We've laid the foundations down for a solid squad that we've got immediately. I think we need to put the roof on the squad. If you want to use that a house analogy, I think we've built the foundations, we've got everything else, but the roof needs putting on, and the roof's probably the hardest bit to put on. It's touching the squad up now a little bit and making sure that we add the right people now that don't ruin all the good work we've done over the last 6 weeks. But in terms of answering your question, the main challenge has been recruitment, but I'd probably be saying that this time next year and the year after that, because especially at Olympian football, and geography plays a part. We're in a catchment where there's so many good football clubs and there's so many clubs that have had success in and around us, and that's a challenge. There's a very small pool of players that you're trying to recruit from, and I am fussy, and that probably does limit me in a way. But I'd sooner be fussy and get the right people in, than have anyone that's going to not treat Toby Football Club with the right respect.
No, you've kind of touched upon this when you were talking about how I think you said you had sort of only 2 or 3 players from last season's squad kind of stick around. How have you sort of had to rebuild the squad? Would you say it's kind of one of the biggest challenges that you've had since taking on the role as manager of Soby?
Yeah, I'd probably say it's the biggest challenge I've had since I've been a manager. This is my 8th pre-season as a manager. And I'd always, when I first started, I played for the team. I took over the team. I was playing for them, so I knew them all. They're all my friends, basically. And then obviously we went from Wakebury to Springfield and took a lot of the boys from Wakebury to Springfield. So I've always known my team really well. Here it's been a little bit different. I've probably known 50% of them really well, and the rest of it's been a little bit of a baptism of fire for everyone involved. They've got to learn about me and what I'm like and my funny ways and my quirks, and I've got to learn about their ways and how to communicate to them effectively and get the right performances out of them. So yeah, the challenge has been building the squad, but then it's about getting to know the squad and the players as individuals and building that team. I think it's hard. I speak to people that are outside of the club and they're like, oh, I just think you'll get on Saturday, or what do you think for Saturday? And to be honest with you, the question 9 times out of 10 is, I don't know. I'm not sure yet. I don't know what to expect from this group. And because it's so new and fresh. So it's just, the biggest challenge has been one, recruitment, but also for me, that challenge of coaching new players, which is one that I wanted. But that has obviously been a challenge.
Okay, Matt, it's good to see you.
Yes, yeah.
Cheers. Now this is an interesting one for me. What does success look like for you this season? Is it purely results that earn you promotion, or something deeper?
I think I said earlier in the interview, I think I've been very present in what in my mindset and how I've been thinking. I've in the last 7 years I've been a manager, I've done it very differently in terms of setting a real tangible target for the team and what I expected. And I've had seasons where I've not set anything and just roll with it. And I don't think there's a right way of doing it. I've been uh, really clear with the players. A couple weeks ago we had a team meeting and I've done like a mentioned PowerPoints. I've done like a step journey of where the club is. I think it's really important that all the players have context of what the club's long-term vision is, but they're also really, really clear and real clarity on what we're working on at the moment. And all I'm focusing on is building a team as a real identity on and off the pitch. Obviously, um, things are a little bit better when you're winning games of football. And what winning does, winning gives you time. So if we're winning and we're doing well on the pitch, me and Alfie can implement all those fancy Dan things that we want to implement off the pitch, and it makes it easier to take the club forward structurally, and the infrastructure of the club can grow because we're winning games of football. So to answer your question, success for me is, like Alfie said, positivity around the club, the environment being positive, and there being clear progress throughout the season. I think if we're playing how we are now in April, I'd probably be a little bit disappointed. Do I want to get promoted? Yeah, obviously. But you know, unfortunately, you can't always control the outcome. You can only control your performance and how you prepare and how you work. So we'll see. It's a competitive division. I think I'll say the line. It's a tough division to get out of. If you look at the teams that came down from the Premier Division in the last couple of years, they haven't bounced straight back up. So that's a sign that it's not going to be a straightforward thing. And I'm absolutely fine with that. I've never done anything the straightforward way. So we'll see what happens come May. But right now, it's about building a team and building an identity that allows us to move forward.
So, in other words, it sounds like enjoy the adventure.
Yeah, definitely. I think enjoy is, one of the reasons I resigned from my previous role was because I wasn't enjoying it. I wasn't looking forward to training. I wasn't looking forward to games. And so you followed my teams for, in the Olympian for a while. And I think I like to think I'm enthusiastic, and all my AirPods for that. I like to think I'm enthusiastic, and my love of the game is clear to the people around me. But I lost that a little bit. And like I said, the first time I thought about being a football manager was when Alfie texted me, and I wanted that again. I wanted that enthusiasm, that enjoyment. I wanted to be around the players and enjoy the environment that football is, because I am someone that takes it seriously. I do it properly. I try not to, but I can't help it. But one thing is about enjoying it and making sure that when we go in the clubhouse after, there's smiles on faces and people are enjoying what's going on. And yeah, that's a big thing.
Matt, what would you say to the fans? Have you got a kind of message for the fans to get them excited about the season ahead?
Fans is interesting.
All three of them.
Okay. People that want the club to do well.
People, yeah, the people that follow the club and stuff, of course. I think one thing I'd say, and I put a little bit of a soppy message in a group chat the other day, was just sort of thank you, because um, I think I've been welcomed really well, and I feel like I've been at the club for a long time, and the support I've had is really good. And not to say that I wasn't supported at other football clubs, but I'm talking about human level support, support where, I've had backing at other football clubs. But if I had human level support at football clubs, I would question that. And a couple of weeks ago, we lost the pre-season friendly. Now, every manager in the world will tell you that results don't matter in pre-season. And they don't. They mean nothing. I can't remember. I know my league record. Like, if you ask me how many games I've won as a manager, I could tell you straight away, but I can't say how many friendlies I've ever won. So, but I was a little bit frustrated. I thought the team would play a little bit better that day, and I was a bit annoyed. And I spoke to Alfie, and I got what I would call human level support. I got encouragement. I got reassurance, and we had a positive conversation. I put the phone down. I felt better. So that's not just coming from Alfie. That's coming from everybody that I've spoken to and interacted with at the club. So the first message is thank you. I think it's words can fall on sort of deaf ears, can't they? If the team's doing well, we're playing good football and we're winning games and we're competitive, people will come and watch us. If we're not, they won't. That's football at any level. So if the team doesn't sort of on the pitch and we have a good start to the season, I hope more people will come and watch us and we can really create a positive atmosphere at the football club.
Hey, great. So guys, like we did with previous guests on the show, I'm going to give you some quick fire questions just to answer as quick as possible. Some serious, some a little bit more sort of light-hearted. Just say the first thing that comes to your head. So, Alfie, we'll start with you. If you could describe Toby FC's
refresh,
rebrand, rebuild, whatever you want to call it. One word to describe it. What would you say? Good answer. What would you say is the most underrated job in non-league football?
we just got a brand new kit, and the entire playing squad. We had 15 at the weekend, Matt, didn't we? Yeah. Only one of them didn't cut the socks, and now I've got to charge them all £7.
Oh no!
Whereas if I had a kit man,
makes it easier. Match day morning. What's your breakfast of choice? What are you going to have?
I'm trying to lose a bit of weight.
If you could sign one player from any, I'm going to say any team in the whole of the Essex Olympian League, so Premier Division, Division 1, 2, who's it going to be and why?
And we're giving this to you and not Matt.
Yeah. Thanks for that.
Do you know what?
I appreciate that.
The name I'll give you, and by the way, I'm saying this name. I'm not going to go and try and poach him. Yeah. This fella has played against me and against clubs I've managed or been involved with for the last 10 years, and he scores goals constantly, and he's so annoying. And mate, I'm sorry if you're listening, but Connor Fardiger.
There's always one of them. There's always one
already, because he gets 20, 30 plus a season. Has done it for the last 10 years, and he's a nightmare to play against. So Connor, you haven't got a clue who I am probably, mate. But if you ever fancy it, let me know.
There's always one, isn't there? There's always one.
Yeah. Sorry, Wakering Sports, if he's still with you.
And the final one for you: promotion or a successful full rebuild, including a youth setup. Which is your kind of priority? Which comes first?
Option 2, no doubt about it.
It's good to hear.
Right.
Rebirth.
Yeah.
Rebirth, not rebirth.
Long term rather than short term.
Yeah, always.
Yeah. Right, Matt, your 5 questions. 3 words to describe your management style.
Direct. Authentic. And I'm going to use a phrase, not a word, player centered.
Okay. Okay.
And I got asked that in a job interview once, and I couldn't use the phrase. they wouldn't let me use the process.
Well, there's still a chance that it might get edited out. So,
Oh,
so yeah.
yes.
Yeah, we'll have to talk to our editor.
Can you also edit the bit out where my wife walks past in her dressing gown at the start of the?
Okay, so biggest influence on your coaching style?
Can I have more than one? No, it's got to shake
No,
your
let's let's be strict.
I think the coaching's about magpie, isn't it? You nick stuff from everybody. That's all it is. No one's
Yeah,
living at the wheel. All steal everything from everyone. I've worked with and for some really good coaches. Someone Rob, you know really well, Tom Harding at Catholic. I was his assistant manager back in the day with his 16s and 18s and stuff, and he was a really good coach. He was a really good influence on me. I like to follow the Cowleys. See that I'm a PE teacher, so their story sort of resonates with me a little bit.
Mhm.
And I like to follow their career. I've also got a good connection with Luke Garrard, who is the Bournemouth manager. Me and my old assistant Dan Blewett, we used to go in and visit and watch him work and watch his training and stuff. And he's somebody, we've got a little WhatsApp group with him, and every now and then I chuck some stuff in there and get his advice. So he's somebody that has been a little bit of an influence on me as well.
Okay.
Massive name drop there as well, wasn't it?
There's quite a few name drops there actually.
Well, no, I don't know the Cowleys. I don't know them. I don't think Tom's a name drop, to be honest.
A 4-3-3 or a 4-4-2?
I've never played 4-4-2 in 65 games I've managed, so definitely not 4-4-2, 4-4-3.
Okay. As it stands at the
I'm
moment,
I'm pragmatic with my shape, so.
There's that one again.
As it stands at the moment, the most vocal player in your dressing room.
To be fair, I've got a lad called Elliot. He's centre half. He played for me since he was about 18, 19. I got him at Wakebury when we first got into the Olympian, and he's played for me ever since. And Saturday was the most vocal I've seen him. He's been wearing the armband for us. And I had a go at him a few weeks ago, privately. I had a go, it's probably a bit harsh, but I just sort of said, you're an experienced player now, you've played a lot of football for me and in general. You need to step up. And he stepped up on Saturday at half time and came in and just ripped everyone's head up, which was really out of character, but really nice to see. So he's been quite vocal. But the other vocal player probably hasn't kicked a ball for a check. He's injured Harry DaCosta. I had him at Springfield. I worked with him. I won't tell you what my nickname is for him because it's not very nice, not very PG. So, but he's definitely vocal. So when he gets on the pitch, he'll definitely be vocal at teammates, opposition, and ref alike, I imagine.
Okay. And finally, your own favourite moment in football so far? Right, and that concludes the interview then.
Come on.
Any last minute winner? I watched this thing with Dude. I was expecting the last minute winner question, and I reeled off in my head 4 or 5 last minute winners. The last one I can remember, we just joined Springfield, and it was our second game, and I had won for months, and we won in the last minute at home to Kelvin Hatch and Finn Burrell, who's at Canby Island at the moment. He scored a hat trick. We won 3-2, and he scored in the last minute, and I ran up the line, went like Mourinho style. That's the last one I can remember. That's probably my best moment. But any moment where you see a player that you've worked with or you've coached do well, and have some success, that's always quite nice.
Yeah. All right, chaps. That pretty much concludes everything. Obviously, huge luck with your refresh. We won't call it a rebuild.
No luck in it, Rob. It's all hard work, mate.
I'm not gonna argue with that. Yeah, Scott, did you?
Yeah, just wanted to wish you luck for the season ahead. As you say, it's definitely a competitive division. And as you know, I should be watching from afar, so to speak. But go well.
Yeah, absolutely. Just
Appreciate it,
echo what
guys.
Scott said.
Thank you, and thanks for having us on, and also thanks for pulling all this together, because I know there's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes, and it's not like I'm sure you'd love to, but not like you're getting paid thousands to do it either, boys. So, really appreciate it. Really enjoyed it so far. Keep it up. Like it's been really. You've run a good couple of shows, and I'm sure there's lots more to come. But yeah, thank you as well.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, appreciate that. Cheers.
And welcome back to the Back Post with Rob, Sam, and Scott. Now we move on to the midweek fixtures in the Essex Senior League.
Right. So on the 5th, which I believe is the Tuesday, Great Waking Rovers against Basildon United. I think that's going to be quite an interesting one.
Yep.
Not one that I think Basildon United are going to relish. Not going to Burrows Park.
I think Wakering will want Burrows Park as a fortress even more this season than they did last season.
Yeah.
That could be the difference between playoffs and that kind of next step.
Precisely.
Which is obviously, as Marcus was saying the other week, exactly where they want to be.
Yes.
Halstead Town, the White Ensign.
Ensign are a bit hit and miss at the moment.
Yeah. And on the Wednesday, Hackney Wick v Barking. That could be a very tasty, very tasty game.
Yes, because
absolutely.
You're saying about the other clubs there. Barking will certainly want to get back. Certainly the performance level, result as well, but certainly the performance level. And Hackney Wick could be riding the high of that FA Cup success.
Ilford v West Essex.
Tricky time to play Ilford at the moment, given the run they're on, I think. So, but West will certainly want to get some form going, I think.
Yeah. And last but not least, Romford v Holbridge Sports.
I think Holbridge are a bit of an interesting one because they obviously haven't started the league particularly well, but had a brilliant FA Cup win over Basildon United. So I think it is a tricky place to go to, Romford.
It is.
Romford at Maysbrook Park. So
I think just to follow on from that, Sam, Romford's just the same as Rovers. Wakefield Rovers will want to make Maysbrook a fortress.
100%. Yeah, absolutely.
Right, so we'll move on to Saturday's fixtures for the Essex Senior League. First up, Athletic Newham v White Ensign. Again, Ensign very hit and miss as well at the moment. Not really found.
I've got a funny feeling there'll be goals in that one.
I think especially if Ensign get something at Halstead, they'll be going into Parslows Park with a bit of confidence.
Yeah, very true. Barking v Buckhurst.
That could be. I mean, I like to note some games on a weekend in leagues as a bit of an undiscovered gem. That might be the gem that not many people sort of think about, because both teams will definitely want to do well there.
And Buckhurst still have the potential for a bit of a shock result away from home.
Yeah,
I've done it time and time again.
Well, speaking of which, I think that might be true of the next fixture as well, actually.
Yeah, Basildon United v Little Oakley. Again, it's a big task for Michael Walter.
Yes.
So early on.
Yes.
Oakley had a great start.
He's not going to be facing Little Oakley, who are really in some good form.
Got to give kudos to both the chairman and the management, James Good and Paul Phelan. For how they've started. In fact, I'm minded to go towards Oakley, given the start that they've had there.
Yeah, it's a tough ask.
Oh, who's the next one?
Benfleet at home to Saffron Walden.
One thing I will say about, obviously I'm going to say something because it's Walden.
Obviously. 2
games between Walden and Benfleet last year, 3-2 to Walden at Caton's Lane and 3-3 at Benfleet. I think there's going to be goals.
So there's goals. Okay.
I am looking forward to it in that there's going to be goals, but I'm not overly confident because Benfleet at home, they're going to have obviously a big crowd following them. They've had some fantastic attendances of late. And when they get that crowd going, they're really going, and it can make it quite difficult for away teams. We were 3-0 up last year with 10 minutes to go and ended up drawing 3-3. So anything can happen.
I think in fairness, Benfleet deserve some plaudits. A, for bringing their original ground up to, well, ground from years gone by up to Step 5 standard, and you've got to say, Sam, and you've alluded to it there, they've been rewarded by the numbers of spectators that have gone in there, and that is great to see. I mean, it's great to see.
May well have an extra one there because that's reasonably close to me as well, so I might pop to that.
Yes,
I'll see you there.
So
yeah,
I'll be there.
That's on my list as well. What I usually do is I usually have like 3 or 4 options every Saturday, and that is one of them. So
back post reunion then.
So back post day out.
Hashtag extra content.
yeah, very. Okay, Great Wrecking Rovers at home to Ilford. We've just spoken about Rovers wanting to make Burrows Park a fortress.
This is a potential banana skin for them, I'd say.
Yes,
the run that Ilford are on, they're going to want to go there and do well.
Yeah, Ilford. I can't remember which of the clubs it was at Burrows Park, which I know is very unhelpful, but I'm pretty sure Ilford got a goalless draw in one of those games at Burrows Park last season. So I think
that might have been against Wakeren.
Yeah, it might have been. Well, 50-50.
Oh, yeah.
But,
yeah, definitely might have been.
Memory fail on my part, but which I'll own. But yeah, I mean, that's going to be a tricky one. And the fact that both teams have been involved in midweek as well, you've got to give plaudits to clubs for playing 3 games in a week already at this stage of the season.
And the thing is as well, the midweek games can have a knock-on effect to the weekend games. So again, we don't know what may happen with.
I'm going to toss in another hashtag here, which is squad depth.
yeah. Every manager said it.
Yes.
Next one down, Harwich and Parkston against Romford.
That'll be a good.
That's going to be a good game.
That'll be a good battle.
Yes,
and a good occasion.
Yes,
as well, because Harwich on a home game on a Saturday, I think their fans will be all over that. So go well both sides there.
Yeah. Holby Sports v Hackney Wick. Tricky
there, I think.
Yeah. Not impossible.
No.
Could potentially be a banana skin for Hackney Wick, but
they're going to have a bit of momentum from the FA Cup.
Again, yeah, exactly what I was going to say. If Holbridge, take the FA Cup performance into the game, may well come out with a good result. Saltaire Hamlets v Halstead Town. Obviously Mile End. Hopefully the goalposts are up and running. But yeah, the form that Saltaire Hamlets are on.
Hard to go against.
It's hard to go against them. Yeah, yeah, especially being at home, obviously.
Yeah.
Terry working his magic.
Indeed.
And then at Wadham Lodge, we've got West Essex against Brentford.
I think there might be goals in that one as well, because I think Brentford have got 1 win on the board, I think. But again, I think that would be quite hard fought. That one.
And last one to round off the weekend fixtures: Woodford Town at home to Sporting Bengal.
That's going to be a cracker.
I think that's going to be quite open.
Yes, absolutely.
Both will want to go and score goals.
Obviously, Woodford at Ashton's. Obviously, they treat it as a fortress, which obviously they've made it in the past couple of seasons. Yeah. But Bengal having just come down, it's a repeat of that playoff semi-final.
Yeah.
Yes.
Same venue as well.
Yeah.
So I think there'll be goals.
I'm going to look at it from a slightly different perspective. A lot of Woodford's home games were Friday nights last season. Didn't have that many on a Saturday, so I'll be interested if the Saturday, playing it on a Saturday, adds a slightly different dynamic to it. But you'd have to go if you really, metaphorically pin us against the wall. You have to really go for Woodford in that one, I think.
Yeah,
maybe like a 4-2.
Perhaps.
I do think there'd be goals.
He's naming goals now.
Oh no, I don't want to make this a regular thing.
Just like we don't want to do predictions on this
No,
program because,
but-
as
I've
I
been
know
saying
very
6-0
well,
Walden every week.
but we tend to.
yes.
Okay, so we'll drop to the Thurlow, Nunn. So they've got some Friday night games
We do
this week.
Friday night games, yeah.
Barkingside against Cannons Wood. Yeah, I'm not sure which way this game would actually go. To be quite honest,
I'm inclined to go for the hosts because their early season form, and I hope they don't take this the wrong way, but to see that they've won 2 matches away from home, given their away record in recent seasons hasn't been brilliant. It's been refreshing to see, and kudos to manager James Wakeling as well. I've got a feeling they might keep that sort of form going, but yeah, interesting one there. As is the next one, Oakside. We've got Lymore Gardens, the new boys, up against Stansted, and I think that will be a really interesting one.
Yeah, intriguing.
Because Stansted's there were shades certainly when I saw them last weekend that they're getting that defensive rigidity back that they sort of had from sort of 2 seasons ago. If they'll need it against the sort of goal hungry Lymore side. But, that could be another sort of gem to watch, I think.
And the last one for the Friday night, May and Baker are home to Dunmow Town.
Yeah, that is literally anyone's. Literally.
I don't want to pick a winner.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah. Right. Saturday's games. First up, Brimsdown against Basildon Town.
Yes.
Obviously, Brimsdown are going to want to get some points on the
big
board.
opportunity for them to get their first points of the season.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean Basildon might fancy it because, as we've already seen, they've got an away win this season, so they might fancy sort of a go at an away win there.
Clapton Community against Burnham Ramblers.
That could be one of the games of the day.
I would put this at game of the day. Yes. Yeah.
I think that's fair.
Yeah. Old Spotted Dog. It was a ground that was actually close to where I used to live.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really good that they've actually done some work over there, and they're using it.
Yes.
And they're in the league that they feel they deserve to be in.
Yes.
As opposed to
after the move across.
I know we've said it in a few already, but that's definitely a contender for goals in it as well.
Yeah,
lots of goals according to us this week.
Yeah, and hopefully they still get the support. No, 402. So the last home game. So yeah. Coggeshall Town are home to FC Romania.
Romania are going to want to get something. They had a poor start.
That's a good test for Romania because, as I said earlier, they're sort of playing catch up. Had the first 2 games deferred.
Yep.
So they're sort of still playing catch up a little bit. Coggeshall certainly got a good result in them as well. So again, that's an interesting
one. Enfield Borough at home to Southend Manor. I think Manor's. I think Manor are going to want to continue the result that they've just had. I think they'll carry that into the game.
Yeah, I mean, that's another one that could go either
way.
But
again, exactly what I was going to say. Yeah, could go either way. FC Baresi v Hutton. Can't look anything past Hutton at the moment.
No, absolutely. But again, I just got that could well be one of the ones that I would say is game of the day as well, because Baresi will want to fire at home,
especially after the last game against Rayleigh.
Yes, indeed.
They were down and out by about half an hour gone.
Indeed,
and they know they're hosting the leaders at the moment. So
yes, and
extra added incentive.
Yes, indeed, and obviously Hutton got a very good win at North West London at Coles Park, and they'll obviously want another 3G pitch here, Watson Park.
Yes,
they'll just want to repeat the performance they had at North West London recently.
Yeah. Newbury Forest at home to AS London.
That's going to be a very interesting game.
Yes. Interesting barometer, that one.
Obviously, Newbury Forest reprieve from relegation last year, started pretty well this year. And AS London, obviously, as we've just mentioned, decided to part company with their manager.
Yeah.
We'd have thought that they'd sort of be up there at the start of the season. So it'd be very interesting way to see where both clubs are at right now.
Yeah. And again, they could well be there managerless, unless an appointment's made this week, obviously. But who knows? And the last game on the list, North West London at home to Rayleigh. Another good game.
It is.
Rayleigh have obviously got goals in them.
Yep.
As they're proving already in their opening games. So but
they'll want to continue.
They'll want to continue. Yeah, still a tough test for Rob Hodgson's side. So
it is. Yeah.
So yeah.
And finally, then just a brief mention on the Essex and Suffolk Border League. Two teams that I think we're going to try and cover as much as we can this season.
Indeed.
East Thurrock Community, first of all, travelling to Alresford Colne Rangers, and Springfield hosting Earls Colne. A couple of interesting games in there.
Indeed.
Right, so that is the end of this week's show. Next week, we're going to be joined in the studio by Southend Manor's Billy Cove.
Looking forward to that. That'll be a good
So,
chat.
it will be an interesting conversation. Along with the Essex Senior League and Thurlow Nunn results and fixtures, we're also going to be reviewing the opening results, I should say, of the Essex Olympian Premier Division. And we'll also be welcoming back Pete after his travels from Norway. Missed him. Bless him. Yeah. Yeah, it's been an empty seat. What can I say?
No, you're not tweeted onto that side.
This is true.
But yes. So I dare say it's a goodbye from me and it's a goodbye from you.
It is. It's been great to be on the opening sort of series of episodes, Rob. Thank you. And thanks to all of you for watching as well. The reaction that we've got in the opening episodes has been great.
It has been great. It has been great.
Thank you.
One thing I would like to note, anybody that is watching this on YouTube, please like and subscribe. It goes a long way to helping us do what we are doing, what we want to do.
And share it around. Tell everyone you know.
Yeah,
absolutely.
By all means, like you say, share the news, share the love. Anyways, thanks a lot, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Take care.